Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and I'm gonna try it, even though my voice is not really 100% as of yet. I have to do it, bro. I have to do it. This is the #1 fucking podcast in your subscription box. Right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script, episode 127, part number 1 for your Battleground weekend Friday, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me right here on Off the Script. We are going to go over what we usually do right before a pay-per-view, and that is the preview, predictions, and full match card for the upcoming Battleground 2016 pay-per-view, man. Gonna be an interesting show. There's gonna be a lot of important things that happen on this show, being that we just had the WWE Draft, and we're gonna go over all that in this very video. There's a few things I do want to mention before we get into the news and rumors, as always. Alright, number 1, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming to my aid and wishing me well and keeping me in your thoughts. I thought I had, or at least I came back from my mom. She said she's pretty sure I don't have strep throat. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. I think I caught something when I was in New Jersey with my best friend Sean. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it happened or how it happened, but I am slowly getting over this, and hopefully by Battleground I should be close to 100%. My mom gave me some organic honey. I'm going to be fucking downing that shit like a nice cold beverage, man. So, I got the honey, I got my tea, I got my vitamin C. The last thing I wanted to do was go to the doctor. You know, I don't need to go to the doctor. I didn't think this was going to be as serious. I don't think it is as serious as people are thinking it is. I don't need a doctor. I will get okay. I will become well with, you know, just regular old vitamin C and fucking honey and tea and soup and all that type of shit. So, I am good. There's nothing else bothering me at all. No headache, no fever. It's just my throat. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully I can get the videos out to you guys like we usually do every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and nothing is going to prohibit me from uploading. But I did upload. I did upload on Thursday for you guys a Fallout video for the draft. If you guys missed that, I'll link you down in the description below. Make sure you guys go check that out. It's about 37 minutes long. We go over exactly what the original plans were for the WWE Draft, where Daniel Bryan fell into all this when he first came on board with the entire idea, what Vince McMahon's original plan for the draft was, who was supposed to go in the first round originally compared to what we got on Tuesday, where did Brock Lesnar fit into the original plans, and what is going on with the WWE Championship, as well as all the other championships in the WWE, as WWE doesn't have any fucking clue as to what is going on. We also go over the entire rosters and how it doesn't make any sense. We go over everything in that video, so if you missed that, I'll link it down in the description below, and I'll put an annotation on the screen for you guys right now, so make sure you guys go check that video out after you view this episode of Off the Script. Number 2, and probably the most important message I can get out there today and all weekend. You guys know HORSESIXZERO. HORSESIXZERO did Off the Script here a favor during Memorial Day weekend, and he made beautiful tributes for every episode that aired that weekend. HORSESIXZERO has been one of the best supporters of this channel that I could ever ask for. Donations, support, just an overall friend in Horse. And today, he is, actually it didn't happen today, I believe it happened on Thursday. Horse had to go in for an operation. Open heart surgery. I don't know what the actual procedure was, but they cut him open. And he is in the hospital. I haven't heard word from anybody that knows him that knows how he's doing as of yet. And all I can ask of you guys is I'm going to leave you his Twitter down below in the description of this video. I want you to go tweet him and bombard him, man. Overflow his Twitter with thoughts and prayers from everybody right here on Team JD and everybody that watches Off the Script, man. HORSESIXZERO will be in our thoughts all weekend long as he went in for this scary procedure. I don't know exactly what he went in there for, but apparently he's got something that's not right, man. A valve issue with his heart. I don't know exactly what it is. I believe he just went briefly over it in a DM that he sent me the other day. And I know he went in for surgery on Thursday, so make sure you guys go tweet him and send him your prayers and well wishes, because he certainly needs it. And we want him to come out of this with a full recovery, man. He's been saying to me that nobody's going to dictate when he goes except for him. So you send him some prayers and some well wishes, man. He certainly could use it. HORSESIXZERO, get better, brother. And I don't know when you're going to see this video, but you're all in our minds, our thoughts, and our prayers, bro. So get well soon, all right? So that is that, guys. On top of the typical shit, barbershop window, if you guys want to get your t-shirts. I can't do the fucking Get Off My TV version 4 with the Monday Night Raw announce team anymore because Corey Graves is on there. Good thing I had a backup. Miss Eva Marie is going to be on version 4. I don't know when that is going to be released. I got to hit up my buddy Connor, who did the artwork for the last 2. But if you guys want to indulge in version 1, version 2, and version 3, they are still available, as always, on barbershopwindow.com. Go to the website, and you'll see wrestling t-shirts, and underneath that, in the drop-down menu, Off the Script will be an official partner for Barbershop Window. It is one of the best-selling t-shirts on that site, so make sure you guys get yours today, the Roman Reigns one, that is. So make sure you guys get your t-shirts and support the podcast that way. It's barbershopwindow.com, and the link will be down in the description for easy access for you guys, you lazy ones who want to go visit the site. Link is down in the description below. Twitter, at JD from NY206. If you guys want to tweet along with me during Battleground, going to be a big night. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for, man. Hit that subscribe button. This is, without question, on the rise. The most popular WWE channel right here on YouTube.com. You don't want to be without any of these videos in your subscription boxes because there's nobody in the IWC, YWC that's going to give it to you like I do. So make sure you guys are subscribed. WrestleCrate.com on Twitter, at WrestleCrates. 10% off JD sent me. Hopefully we get our fucking crate this month. I don't think they sent any crates out to any of the people that they've been sending crates out to. So hopefully we get some crates this month for July. And Patreon.com if you guys want to support the podcast and this channel with my Patreon. Read that mission statement on there. Read it, go over it, you'll understand where I'm coming from. If you guys want to pledge, it's completely up to you. It is not mandatory, it is an obligation if you guys want to do it on your own accord. That is JD from NY206 on Patreon.com if you guys want to support the podcast through Patreon.com. Thank you guys so much for that. Now, let's go over everything as far as, and I clicked off my notes like a fucking noob, Battleground. Battleground is going to be happening on Sunday, live from Washington, D.C. I believe HORSESIXZERO said he was going to go to the show, but I don't know if that is going to be possible now that he has to have surgery on Thursday. But I don't know what's going on with that. But it is taking place in Washington, D.C. And it is a decent card, and it is a newsworthy card because of what happened on Tuesday. A lot of our questions, hopefully, will be answered at Battleground as far as where championships are going, as far as debuts. Bayley is being talked about as debuting with Sasha Banks as the mystery partner there for Charlotte versus Dana Brooke. I will debunk that, and I will tell you guys why I do not think it is going to happen. Because I don't think Bayley is worth a fucking call-up like this, or like everybody wanted with the draft. I don't know why people are fucking throwing a hissy fit all over social media. Where's Bayley? What happened to Bayley? Blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you guys exactly what I think in a second. But as far as the championships go, we don't know what is going on as far as the United States Championship, the WWE Championship, and the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz is on Smackdown. Darren Young is on Monday Night Raw. Rusev is on Monday Night Raw. Zack Ryder is on SmackDown. Dean Ambrose is on SmackDown. Rollins and Reigns are on Monday Night Raw. So, at the end of all this, Monday Night Raw can have all the fucking championships, or SmackDown could have all the fucking championships, minus the women's and the tag team, and the cruiserweight, which is being announced, which was announced by Stephanie McMahon, which will be a title exclusive to Monday Night Raw. But as far as I see it, our answers will come at Battleground as far as what the WWE does with their championships and where these championships will find a home via this fucking brand extension and this WWE draft. That has been my main concern about everything, is what WWE is doing with their championships. And I went over this in the video yesterday, and I don't want to sound like a broken record. Monday Night Raw has 7 divas, 7 women. Divas. I'm still saying fucking divas. Shoot me in the fucking head, will you? 7 women. Monday Night Raw has 7 women compared to SmackDown's 6 women. You can't have brand exclusive superstars wrestle each other in this brand split with this draft if you have 6 on one show and 7 on the other. Before it all is said and done, it will be stale as fucking 2-week-old bread. It is not going to work. It's not going to work. And I wish people would understand the logic that I'm trying to fucking tell them. It is not going to work. 6 women on one brand in which they can't wrestle on the other. Okay? How is that going to work before it gets stale? How many different combinations of matches can you have with 6 fucking women? And I'm not including Nikki Bella, who will probably end up on SmackDown because John Cena is there, and they'll never keep those 2 guys apart like they did Del Rio and fucking Paige, which is going to be a top story, or not a top story, but one of the top stories for this weekend, that they split them apart, which they were very visibly upset about them being split on the night of the draft. Paige was interviewed, Del Rio was interviewed, you see it all over their face that they were fucking pissed off and upset that WWE split them. Emma is out with injury. She was not drafted, okay? Rosa Mendes, because she fucking sucks, shouldn't even be mentioned in the draft, but she's out on maternity leave. So, we don't know what's happening with Nikki, and we don't know what's happening with Emma. But still, if you add those women to each brand, it's still not going to be enough. And then people are talking about bringing up Bayley. Where are you going to put Bayley? Where are you going to put Bayley that makes any fucking sense? You're going to put Bayley on Monday Night Raw? You're going to put Bayley on SmackDown? It's not going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever. And what is the big deal about bringing up Bayley as far as the women go? You guys do understand that outside of Asuka and Bayley, now that they drafted Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, 2 of the only other women on the NXT women's roster that can actually fucking wrestle, there's nobody. There is literally nobody outside of Bayley and Asuka. And if you call up Asuka, or Bayley rather, who is Asuka going to defend the women's championship against? Nobody. She has literally no competition. And don't give me bullshit. Oh, JD, there's Liv Morgan and there's Peyton Royce. Give me a fucking break, dude. Those women are not on television week in and week out. And if you put those women in high-profile matches and feuds right now, they have no momentum underneath them to the point where the fans are going to care about them. You can't build a women's roster with one woman. So Bayley, for the time being, is going to remain in NXT because that's where she belongs right now. You don't want to critically pull women out of your NXT women's roster to the point where there is no division whatsoever. So Bayley is not going anywhere. Bayley is not going to be the mystery partner of Sasha Banks. Bayley's not going to be on the main roster right now. Bayley was never going to be drafted, even though Joe and everybody else who had front row, they were trolled so fucking bad that they had fucking hugger signs sitting on all the front row seats at the draft in Worcester, Massachusetts, at SmackDown Live. Bayley didn't come out. There was no hugs going around. Bayley was never meant to be drafted. And why would you want Bayley to be drafted to Raw or SmackDown as far as the women go? You don't think Bayley deserves more of a, I guess, epic debut for the main roster? You're going to have her debut on the draft night where they just show a fucking picture of her in wrestling gear on the Titantron and that's it? Like they did Finn Balor? Yeah, Finn Balor's coming to Monday Night Raw. Yeah, that's great. Okay. He just took out the entire fucking surprise of Finn Balor coming out, making everybody fucking mark the fuck out. You know, you want that to happen to Bayley, though. You don't think Bayley deserves a better introduction to the main roster? Save it. Save it. When Sasha Banks wins the title, then you can debut her on Monday Night Raw to confront Sasha Banks. That's the way you do it. Bayley is better than this fucking draft because this draft was fucking pathetic. But I've been saying, and I've been saying ever since Tuesday, the women don't make sense. 6 women on one show, 7 women on the other. That is not enough to give you active competition as far as the brand goes. As far as the division goes, it's not going to work. And then JD, or people tell me, JD, how can you say you want all the tag teams on one division? There's 8 or 9 teams. Don't you think that's a little overkill? Whoever said that each team has to be on TV every week? That's not a rule. I mean, Dean Ambrose shouldn't even be on TV every week. The WWE Champion doesn't need to be on TV every fucking week. Look what they do with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is the champion. People know he's the champion. But when he shows up, you know it's going to be a big deal. Dean Ambrose, or the WWE Champion, whoever the fucking champion is, does not need to be on TV every single week. Tag teams don't need to be on TV every single week. Give us 2 matches per show. That's fine. And then showcase the other 2 matches. Or a couple of matches next week and the following week. Then you got Superstars and Main Event, which are going to be split between Raw and SmackDown respectively. You can have those shows be of some kind of importance as well by showcasing tag teams on there. Being that they'll be part of the Raw and SmackDown tapings Monday and Tuesday. You know, you don't need to have all these teams show up on one show. It doesn't matter if there's 8 or 9 teams on one show. At least you have a fucking division to manage and balance out. So that's why I said SmackDown would get the tag team division because it is the wrestling heavy show, or should be the wrestling heavy show. And Monday Night Raw, being that they got the women's revolution going on and they want to spotlight the women, that makes sense to put them on Monday Night Raw and keep them on the A show. So you have a women's division on Raw and a tag team division on SmackDown. I think that would be the best way to go about it. There's no reason to have split fucking titles. You can't with these rosters. And there's no reason for Charlotte to go defend the title back and forth. There's no reason for the New Day to go and defend the titles back and forth. What are you going to do when there's brand-specific pay-per-views? You're going to have them defend the title on a Raw brand-specific pay-per-view and then go to the SmackDown brand-specific pay-per-view and defend the title on that show as well? How is there going to be any conflict between the team that they're fighting? So they're just randomly going to be put in tag team title matches with no fucking feuds to develop. It's going to be a fucking shit show. This is why I said one brand should have the tag team titles and the other brand should have the women's championship. But people are too fucking thick-headed to think ahead. People that have come to me and said, oh, that won't work, that won't work. You're not thinking about the brand-exclusive pay-per-views, right? In which there will be 2 a month under this new brand split, this new brand initiative. You don't understand how that's not going to work. How don't you understand that? So you're going to have the New Day defend the titles on the Raw exclusive pay-per-view and then the SmackDown brand exclusive pay-per-view, right? How is there going to be any build for a fucking feud in between 1 to 2 weeks in which these pay-per-views are separated? I don't get you people that come to me. Oh, you're negative. Oh, give it a chance. I am giving it a chance. I'm telling you why it's not going to work. There's a difference. There's a huge fucking difference. And with Battleground, we better get fucking answers. Okay? Because Rusev is fighting Zack Ryder, The Miz is fighting Darren Young, and Dean Ambrose is defending against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. We need answers as to where these titles are going to go. We need to know if these are going to be exclusive titles to each brand that they eventually end up on for the remainder of this fucking brand split. And we need to know whether there's going to be 1 world championship or 2 world championships. Because as far as I see it, having Dean Ambrose defend, or anybody defend the WWE Championship across both brands is not going to work. It is not going to work. You need to have 2 titles if WWE has split the rosters. And I wasn't an advocate for 2 titles. But now they need another world title. And that is it. WWE could have avoided all this fucking headache and avoided embarrassment for themselves if they just thought this out. And they didn't think anything out. Battleground should be a pay-per-view in which it should have been built up as major importance because of what you have at the top of this card. Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. But it's not. It's nothing but fucking mid-card bullshit that follows the WWE draft, and it's going to make more problems and more headaches, and it's going to apply more questions than we already have as far as the WWE product goes. Instead of holding the fucking draft until after Battleground, until after the pay-per-view, no, they want to get it right out of the gate, and they want to put it on Smackdown Live before this fucking pay-per-view. So realistically, you have Raw and Smackdown superstars fighting each other on this pay-per-view, and it's for no reason at all. It's no reason at all. You got AJ Styles and the Club teaming up, and they're not even on the same fucking brand anymore. So what the fuck does that mean? You got Rusev versus Zack Ryder, they're both on different brands. The Miz versus Darren Young, they're both on different brands. Ambrose, Reigns, and Rollins, they're all on different brands. Right? Rollins and Reigns are on Raw, Ambrose is on SmackDown. Becky Lynch and Natalya, they're on the same fucking brand. Right? So I don't understand why WWE just created all this fucking clusterfuck of bullshit when they could have at least waited a week. They could have at least waited a week as far as the draft goes. So anything that we see here is going to be null and void. It's going to be it's pointless. It is absolutely pointless. The only thing of highlight here on this show is where the championships are going to go and what is going to happen with the World Heavyweight Championship. And then obviously you got the Club teaming up together. AJ, Anderson, and Gallows no longer on the same brand. How are they going to coincide? Will we see the debut of Finn Balor? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But those are my gripes, and I had to get that off my chest again for the people in my video yesterday who continue to say, shut the fuck up, stop being negative, it was a good draft. It was a good draft to the people who are not using their fucking brains. That's why it was a good draft to you. You're not thinking ahead, okay? You're thinking as of right now. You're thinking this week. You're not thinking next week, the week after that, next month, 2 months from now. I am. And I'm worried, and I'm concerned, and I'm worried about this fucking roster that's sitting in front of me. It's pointless. Absolutely pointless. You don't go into this shit unprepared. And I mentioned this on my original draft review following Tuesday's show. If you're working in a high-end office, a high-end fucking business firm, and you're going into the fucking office with all your peers and your boss is sitting right there, and it's your day to make a fucking presentation, are you going to go in there half-assing it, unprepared, embarrassing yourself, or are you going to go in there literally with a blueprint of everything of how you would do it? That's not what WWE did. They went into this board meeting half-assed, and they didn't give a flying fuck about anything after the draft was over. They sit there with more questions than answers, and that's not the way you go about things. It may be good to the fucking 10-year-old goon who doesn't know any better, or it may be good to some of the goons that fucking comment on my videos who don't use all of their fucking brain, but I am not a person who uses half of their brain. I think about everything and break everything down to the point of it making sense. And none of the shit I'm bringing you makes sense. Simple. And if you can't get that through your fact, go watch somebody who's gonna fucking upload a 2-minute video talking about absolutely fucking nothing and not giving you what you need to hear. You watch me because I am opinionated. You watch me because I give it to you how you want it, how it should be. I'm never going to sit here and tell you and kiss ass and tell you how great Monday Night Raw was, or how great SmackDown was, or how great the draft is. No, that's not my job. I'm here to open eyes, open minds, and make you guys realize that everything you're watching on TV is not fucking sunshine and flowers. Shit is fucked up. And if WWE does not get it correct, and they don't rectify the mistakes that came out of this draft, we are in for a long fucking year. How long did the old draft last? 3 years? I guarantee you this draft will not last 3 months. And WWE's going to go back to the way things used to be. The only thing that needed to be changed was SmackDown going live and fucking firing everybody on WWE Creative. Because WWE Creative is one of the most useless fucking aspects of that company. There's nothing that is creative that comes out of that boardroom. Nothing. If you were creative, you would have made roles for Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family, AJ Styles. You would have made fucking the Club look like they should have been looking. Dominant. Give me a fucking break. We don't need split rosters. We need split fucking creative teams. 30 men. 10 men is too much. That's too many men in the fucking kitchen. You're never going to get anything accomplished with fucking 30 creative writers, and then half of their fucking ideas are thrown at the wall and never used anyway because Vince McMahon is so high up on his fucking throne that it's what he says and what he says only. Bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. We didn't need a draft. We needed a new fucking creative direction in this company. We needed people to be removed from their positions who don't know what the fuck that they're doing. Not listening to the fans, not in tune with the audience. That's what we needed. Smackdown Live, you got that right. Everything else is nothing but a fucking disgrace and a joke. That's my honest opinion on everything. And that's my feelings going into Battleground. Seriously. Now, let's talk about this fucking pay-per-view so I can get some fucking rest here. Becky Lynch versus Natalya. Has this been on any show? Has this been built up at all except for what we've seen on Monday Night Raw recently and SmackDown Live Tuesday? And that was both this week. Raw and SmackDown. No, we don't. So, if they are not presenting this as important and they're not building to this on television, why are we going to care going into the pay-per-view? Is this going to be something we're going to watch for 10 minutes, or am I going to fucking take a bathroom break? I don't know. I like Becky Lynch. I think Natalya turning heel is great. It gives her a new lease on life as far as her wrestling character goes. But as far as this match goes, I just don't care. I just do not care. Becky Lynch needs to win this match. I believe Becky is going into this at Battleground, going to beat Natalya and make Natalya submit with the disarmor. That's my opinion on that. Speaking of the other women's match, Sasha Banks and her mystery partner, which will not be Bayley, goons. I will be pleasantly surprised, number one, if it is Bayley. Number two, WWE again is making another fucking mistake if you debut Bayley with Sasha Banks. I don't think Bayley bringing her up to the main roster in this match is going to do her any good. She deserves more than a mystery partner role. She deserves to be highlighted in a special way, being that she's been so fucking great for the women in WWE. You're not going to bring her up as a mystery partner. You're not going to put her in a draft and have her drafted like everybody else, which was a fucking joke. You're going to have her come when it is time. And right now is not the time. Why wouldn't WWE go with one of the new women that they drafted to Monday Night Raw? Why? I don't understand why people's logic is so skewed. Oh, it's got to be Bayley. Oh, it's got to be Bayley. Bayley would be the best. Really now? Why would Bayley be the best? You don't think Bayley deserves something better like I just previously mentioned in my fucking rant before? Bayley deserves so much better. And the reaction that Bayley will get when she comes out on Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam, when Sasha is in the ring by herself holding that women's championship and the crowd goes fucking crazy because of the history that those two have, that's the reaction that Bayley deserves. That's the moment in which you debut Bayley. That's the moment. Not Battleground, not an unimportant pay-per-view that will do nothing. Nothing. So my choice here, as far as a mystery partner goes, and I mentioned Nikki Bella, not going to be Nikki Bella because she just now is getting clearance to train at the Performance Center. It's not going to be Nikki Bella. It's not going to be Summer Rae. Who I think it's going to be is WWE Raw newcomer and new draftee from NXT, Nia Jax. I think Nia Jax is going to be the muscle and the power that Sasha Banks goes out and gets, being that she was just drafted to Monday Night Raw to go against Charlotte and Dana Brooke. And obviously, Nia Jax is going to win her first pay-per-view match on the main roster. Sasha Banks is going to look strong. Charlotte and Dana Brooke obviously are going to take the L here at Battleground. I think Nia Jax is going to debut on Battleground, and she's going to be the mystery partner of Sasha Banks. That is just my opinion on that. If you guys have any opinions on that, let me know down in the comments below. Am I crazy? Am I making sense? I think I'm making a lot of sense as far as Bayley goes, and the fact that Nia Jax could very well be, now that she just drafted to Monday Night Raw, the mystery partner of Sasha Banks. The New Day versus the Wyatt family. Well, the Wyatt family's not together anymore, right? Braun Strowman's not on the Wyatt family's show anymore, right? So what the fuck are they going to do? Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan on SmackDown, Braun Strowman's on Monday Night Raw. What's going to happen there? So why would Braun Strowman fucking care about anything that the Wyatt family are doing? He's on his own now. He is on his own. So, one thing I do want to mention here is Luke Harper was not drafted. Luke Harper, when he comes back, and no goons, he's not retired. That's the gimmick that he has. He's going to fucking troll you to the point where you think he's never coming back. He is coming back. He is working feverishly to come back from his torn ACL. He will be back in October, okay? The Wyatt family will be somewhat together on SmackDown with the original three, Rowan, Harper, and Bray Wyatt. I don't know why WWE decided to break away Braun Strowman. The guy can fucking barely walk. He reminds me of the great Khali. The guy is fucking absolutely dreadful in the ring. How this guy is going to get over on his own remains to be seen, but there's a reason why I put him on Get Off My TV. You will realize that as the weeks go on and we see him on Monday Night Raw. Seriously. So, Monday Night Raw has a Get Off My TV segment, which is automatic in Braun Strowman. Smackdown has a Get Off My TV segment with Eva Marie every single week. Think of that. Just think of that. Braun Strowman on his own. On his own. On Monday Night Raw without the Wyatt family. Yeah, we're in for some real good fucking post-draft Monday Night Raws. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, the Wyatt family versus the New Day. This is not for the tag team championships. This opens up for the Wyatt family to actually get the win here. A loss for the New Day is not going to do anything at all. It is not going to harm them. They are still one of the hottest teams in the industry right now. So a loss to the Wyatt family will do absolutely nothing to the New Day. And plus, the titles are not on the line. A loss would not have them lose the titles to the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family need a big victory. And it's been a long time coming that they got a big victory. I'm going with the Wyatt family here. I've been liking the build so far. The interactions with Wyatt and Xavier Woods have been very interesting. I was not a big fan of the compound segment that they filmed. I thought it could have been done a little bit better. The compound match should have actually happened at Battleground in the vein or the same vein as the Boiler Room Brawl and the Lion's Den match with Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart, the Boiler Room Brawl with Mankind and The Undertaker. Something along those lines that they could have filmed a few days ago before the pay-per-view, and they could have just inserted it as, you know, a clip or a match segment that we would have got. It would have been a nice blow-off for this feud, being that they're not on the same brand anymore. And I would have rather seen the compound match raw, unedited, without any fucking flashy, fucking fancy shit all over the screen, and without any cutaway scenes and the fucking weird lighting that they used. It should have been raw. It should have been the New Day versus all three members of the Wyatt family in the fucking swamp, in the forest, in the same vein as a Boiler Room Brawl, or like I said, the fucking match with Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart in the Hart family dungeon, the Lions Den match. That should have been the way it should have been. But as far as what happens here on the pay-per-view, I'm going with the Wyatt family. I think they need the victory. I think they will get the victory. A loss here is not going to harm the New Day. And like I've been predicting for months, New Day will go on to defend the tag team championships against Enzo and Cass at SummerSlam, and they will drop the titles to Enzo and Cass, who are absolutely scorching white hot in the tag team division. That's what's going to happen. Mark my words. I've been saying it for months, and it's finally going to happen at SummerSlam. The one match I'm actually looking forward to on this entire show, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. The one thing going into the draft, what I wanted was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to be drafted to the same brand, and that's exactly what they did. They drafted Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to Monday Night Raw. Good for them, because you have a feud here that could last you years, and it would never get fucking stale. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. I love this match. I love the dynamic between these two. Nothing else needs to be said here. In fact, one of you guys actually brought it to my attention. They should have a fucking ladder match at SummerSlam. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Loser leaves town, and the loser goes right over to Smackdown. I would love to see that. So, by the time we have another draft, and they get drafted to the same fucking brand again, they can revisit it. Take a few weeks, some time off, a year off, 2 years off from this feud. These guys are relatively young. They got their whole careers ahead of them. If you want to have that at SummerSlam and make it important and really blow off this feud at SummerSlam, which really calls for it, it would be a pay-per-view that would call for that type of match. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match. Loser leaves town. And the loser goes over to SmackDown. And they're out of each other's hair for a little bit. And then when they have another draft, whenever that fucking is, they get drafted to the same brand again, and by that time, they'll be a little bit more mature. One of them might have championship gold around their waist, and they could be revisited at that point. That would be fucking great. So Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens here. I don't know who's going to win this match. It could honestly go either way. Honestly. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn here just because I'm taking a shot in the dark. I honestly do not know who's going to win this match. Kevin Owens has been strong. Sami Zayn has kind of faltered off a little bit. He's gotten a little lukewarm. Kevin Owens has remained hot. His gimmick is fucking great. He's a great heel on the main roster. I think Sami Zayn needs to win more than Kevin Owens does. I think Sami Zayn's going to win this one. Going to be a great match at Battleground. John Cena, Enzo, and Big Cass versus AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. The club is on Monday Night Raw. AJ Styles drafted to SmackDown. So, I don't know the dynamic that's going to be there. Obviously, they're going to work in unison here to beat Cass, Enzo, and John Cena. I don't see that faltering at all during the pay-per-view. But what is interesting is now that AJ Styles is no longer leader of the club, will they automatically debut Finn Balor in this match and have Finn Balor attack AJ Styles, get rid of him, and will they announce the Balor Club for Monday Night Raw? Or are they going to do that on Monday Night Raw? Being that they have AJ Styles here now, and this is the last we will see of AJ Styles with the club, I honestly think it is the opportune time. It is the right time to debut Finn Balor to everybody on the main roster. I think Battleground is the night we see him, because it wouldn't make sense if the draft merely just split away AJ Styles and the club, and there's no dissension there. You want to have Finn Balor come in and stake his claim to his guys that he is now on the main roster. He has history with them. AJ Styles was nothing but a fake leader. Get him out of the picture. Have him cost the club the match, but the club align with Balor, forming the Balor Club at Battleground. I think that's the way to go. And then AJ Styles can go on to Smackdown and continue his feud with John Cena over there. In the end, I think John Cena, Enzo, and Big Cass will win this match. I don't see the club coming out on top here, simply because the club has gotten over these guys more so than I thought. So going into the pay-per-view, I think John Cena and Enzo and Big Cass are going to get their revenge on the club. So I do see John Cena and his team winning this match, and I do think we see Finn Balor joining the main roster and pretty much aligning himself with Gallows and Anderson. It does make sense. I would rather that happen in front of AJ than we get no answers at all and have him show up on Monday Night Raw and they just piece them together just because Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are on the same brand as Finn Balor. I'd rather them do it with AJ Styles in the picture at Battleground, him physically there, and him being kicked out by Finn Balor. That's what I want to have happen. Rusev versus Zack Ryder. Listen, the only reason I care about this match is because I'm worried about the fate of where the United States Championship is going to be. Is it going to be brand exclusive to Monday Night Raw or Tuesday Night SmackDown? I honestly don't care who wins this match, and in fact, Rusev is going to win this match. I don't see Zack Ryder winning this match at all. I think Zack Ryder is going to be kind of reborn on SmackDown. He's going to have a nice push on SmackDown. He's got his buddy Mojo Rawley on SmackDown. They could possibly aim for the Tag Team Championships. However that ends up working out, I have no fucking idea. Rusev, to me, it's too soon to take the belt off of him. He's had a nice run. They've built him up as a monster yet again. Slowly but surely, he will get back to the way he was when he was fighting John Cena and he was undefeated. Rusev has been pretty decent as United States Champion. I do not see them taking the belt off of Rusev. I think the United States Championship stays on Monday Night Raw. The Miz versus Darren Young. I do not see Darren Young winning this match at all. This match was pieced together just because they had no fucking idea what they wanted to do. They needed another match to fill out this pay-per-view card. Darren Young was the only fucking choice that they had. So The Miz versus Darren Young, an Intercontinental Championship match that has absolutely no build whatsoever. No reason to take the belt off of The Miz at all. If Rusev is going to take the United States Championship back to Monday Night Raw, as I expect, there's no reason for The Miz to lose this match and have Darren Young take the Intercontinental Championship over to Monday Night Raw as well. The Miz wins, Intercontinental Championship stays on SmackDown, and that's what I expect to happen. And finally, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. The only thing I care about here is the fact that Roman Reigns is going to come out, and I'm most interested to know what type of reaction he is going to get following his 30-day drug suspension. That is all I fucking care about. As far as this match goes, listen, I've enjoyed the interaction between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I really have. The matches were a little underwhelming, if you ask me. The two matches that they had, the one on Raw and the one on SmackDown, a little bit underwhelming. I know they went for the fuck finish on Monday Night Raw, which they should have stayed with, and they should have introduced a new World Championship based off that decision. Instead, WWE on the WWE Network, while everybody was fucking sleeping and shutting Raw off for the night because they were so fucking pissed off, they changed the decision back to giving Dean Ambrose the WWE Championship because it was a draw, and then they had a rematch on SmackDown. The match on SmackDown seen Dean Ambrose beat Seth Rollins clean, which I don't think anybody really expected. So if Dean Ambrose in one Monday Night Raw escaped by the skin of his ass and drew a match with Seth Rollins to a draw, and then we had Dean Ambrose win with the Dirty Deeds clean on SmackDown, 2 on SmackDown, you think he's going into the fucking pay-per-view and going to have 3 times beating these guys for the World Championship? 3 times Dean Ambrose escapes with the WWE Championship? I doubt it. I doubt it. I do not see Dean Ambrose going into SummerSlam defending the WWE Championship. I wouldn't mind it, but I just don't see WWE doing that. I think they're going with the money match of Reigns versus Rollins to main event SummerSlam, and I think Seth Rollins is walking out the WWE Champion out of this triple threat match. There's no other way around it. I do not see Dean Ambrose once, twice, 3 times escaping with the WWE Championship. Once was a draw, once was clean. At some point, Rollins is going to have to get his revenge. His revenge comes at Battleground. He wins. He pins Roman for the title. Seth Rollins is your new WWE Champion. The WWE Championship goes back to Monday Night Raw, which I expected it to be on that show anyway, which will give Raw the Women's Championship, the Tag Team Championship, the U.S. Championship, and the Cruiserweight Championship. And meanwhile, SmackDown has no World Championship, an Intercontinental Championship, and that is it. One championship. There needs to be a World Championship on SmackDown. From this match, I think that will be born. Now, I don't know how they handled it back with the old draft. I think they did wait a couple of weeks, a month or so, to get the title instituted and introduced on the second brand, on SmackDown. Now, I don't know how this is going to introduce another World Championship, but the fact that SmackDown only has one exclusive championship under its belt, I honestly think just based off that, they're going to give us another World Championship. Reigns is not walking out the champion. Ambrose is not walking out the champion. In fact, Rollins is going to pin Reigns, and he's going to win the World Championship. Rollins versus Reigns for the World Championship at SummerSlam. That is where WWE is headed. Honestly, you guys know how I feel about this. This match should have been Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins one-on-one. Seth Rollins should have beat Dean Ambrose for the title at Battleground. Roman Reigns should have been a non-issue. Roman Reigns should have went on to SummerSlam to fight both of these guys in a triple threat match, and that's where the triple threat match should have taken place. But that's just me. That's how I would have did things, but who the fuck am I, right? Who the fuck am I? Anyway, that is my Battleground preview and predictions. Let me know what you guys are thinking about everything that is going to happen on Sunday. If you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know what you think about my Nia Jax introduction as Sasha Banks' mystery partner. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Cena and Enzo and Cass versus the Club. Do we see Finn Balor on Battleground? Do you guys see Rusev walking out with the U.S. Championship, The Miz with the IC Championship, and do you see Seth Rollins walking out the WWE Champion? So let me know what you guys are thinking about that. I'm out of here. I'm going to try and get myself better for tomorrow's episode. So thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Wish well to HORSESIXZERO. If you guys want a t-shirt, make sure you go to Barbershop Window. If you want to support the podcast, patreon.com/JD from NY206. And I will be back on Saturday with the #1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube.com. I'm JD. This is Off the Script. And I'll see you guys on Saturday morning.